Hi everyone, and welcome to today's General Hospital recap. As always, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos or recaps. And the character of the week for last week's winner is, drumroll, still not a drumroll, Elizabeth, mainly for telling the truth and being totally honest without passing blame off to anyone else. And I agree, I am proud of you, Elizabeth. Second place was Maxie, and then J-Sam got a few votes too. So let's get right to it. Dante are stuck in the Metro Court thanks to Nathan and Maxie, and they realize that Nathan and Maxie set them up, and they try to get out of the room. They're banging on the door, banging on the walls, trying to use their phones and the hotel phone, and nothing's working. And Maxie and Nathan, or I think Maxie might be their couple name, but anyway. Also in the Metro Court, they're kind of staying in a room down the hall from Dante and Lulu. And Nathan set up a Valentine's Day dinner for them with food from the Floating Rib, but they're at the Metro Court. And Maxie worries about the plan, and they decide to go check on Dante and Lulu. So back at Dante and Lulu's room, Maxie tells them Olivia moved everyone else off the floor so that no one can hear them scream. And Nathan also kind of teases Dante about the cell phone jammer. So Maxie left an old crimson out about how to repair your relationship in 10 steps, and Maxie and Nathan leave. So Lulu decides that they should read the article. And she says she thinks the break in their marriage happened before he cheated. So she says taking Dylan on the Lucky rescue mission was the biggest mistake, and if she had to do it again, she would take Dante and tell him and defy her parents. And he asks why didn't she do that the first time. So she says with everything that happened when Johnny got released and when Dante was so possessive and started like issuing ultimatums, it bothered her. And he says like he was worried, and he says that he feels like she has this thing about being Luke Spencer's daughter that she tries to live up to. So she says that when the rescue happened, she didn't want him to tell her not to go, and neither one of them trusted each other. So she says that Dante's not a cheater, and he wouldn't have done that if their marriage was in a healthy place, and he says he would do anything to take that night back, which so I think they're making really good progress, and I'm happy Maxie is using her powers for good. So back to Nathan and Maxie, they resume their Valentine's Day, and Maxie thinks Nathan is going to propose to her, and she like goes on and on about how she's not ready, and he's like, I'm not asking you to marry me. He's giving her a charm for her bracelet with Georgie's birthstone, and she loves it. At Windermere, Liz thinks Hayden is just, a guest there. She makes this whole big deal about how she's a guest there too, so why is Hayden going in the safe? And she tells Liz that she's Nicholas's wife, and Elizabeth doesn't believe her. And then Nicholas comes down. So Elizabeth is like, Nicholas, you won't believe what she just said. She said she's your wife. Isn't that ridiculous? And Nicholas is like, no, because we actually did get married. So she's speechless, needless to say. And he wants Elizabeth's blessing because they're besties. And Elizabeth tells Nick that Hayden was trying to open the safe. And Hayden's like, oh, I just wanted to put the heirloom bracelet you gave me in there because I was afraid of losing it. And that seems pretty reasonable because I too would be afraid of losing an heirloom bracelet. So Hayden goes back upstairs, and Elizabeth is upset that he married the woman who blackmailed them, which is kind of rich coming from Elizabeth, who was ready to marry Jason knowing who he was. But I don't want to rehash all that. Well, I do a little bit, so that's what I did. Okay, moving on. So Elizabeth really thinks she's different than Hayden with the lies because their motives are different. Like Hayden's just in it for the money, and she was in it for love. Take from that what you will. But Nicholas tells Elizabeth that Hayden signed a prenup, and Elizabeth is worried that Nicholas's heart is going to get broken. So she knows she lost Jason to Sam for good this time, and Nicholas tells Elizabeth that Hayden says she's turning over a new leaf, and he fell in love with her, and isn't that just great? Oh, he's gonna fall so hard, and I can't wait. So Elizabeth gets a call about Jake. It's the orthopedic doctor. He wants to talk to them about Jake's injuries. At the floating rib, Jordan tells Valerie that Curtis had a very expensive cocaine habit, and she says it would be a bad idea to get involved with him. Curtis introduces himself to Andre. It's tense, and Curtis brings up his brother. So then Curtis interrupts Valerie and Jordan. Valerie's mood has totally changed around him now, and Curtis wants to know if Jordan said something to her, and she asks if he's a cocaine addict. So he admits that he was and says that he went to rehab and has been clean for 5 years. And Valerie asks why Jordan hates him so much if they're family, like he's TJ's uncle. She doesn't really get an answer to that. Jordan tells Andre that seeing Curtis brings up a lot of bad memories, and Jordan also tells him that her husband was killed in combat. She says there were problems between her and her husband, and she did things she regrets, but she doesn't want to talk about it. And Andre says he understands regrets, and she's free to talk about it if she wants to. And then she gets a little bit defensive. J-Sam, I know what we've all been waiting for, right? So they're kissing, but they stop, but after a little bit. We got through like the first section and a half, right? So Sam says, they lived a life apart and they've changed, and she's learned to love again, and like she likes who she's become, and she likes who he's become, and she wants to get to know the person he is now, which I think is just like really awesome. So he says he felt their connection after like they escaped the fire. He finally realized what she was talking about. And he cooked pasta for her, and it's delicious. And he's really humble about it. But then, they're just so good together, and I'm so happy, and they're happy, which makes me even happier. But then he gets a call about Jake and heads off to the hospital. And now end scene. So Valerie is going to turn in from her date early. Whew. Elizabeth and Jason are at the hospital, and Elizabeth thinks the prognosis is worse than they originally thought. Let's see. Nicholas calls Sam, and get this, he wants to hire her as a PI to investigate Hayden. And he's like, I know you're not a fan of me personally, but I hope that won't affect our professional relationship. And she's like, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, you knew who her husband was for months. Or do they know that? Do they know? Oh, I forgot what everyone knows. Do they know that Nicholas knew, or do they just suspect that Nicholas knew this whole time? I don't remember. If you know, then tell me. But still, like, this is all rich, right? So Dante and Lulu are going to move on to the next step in the article, and it's kind of Dante's idea to like move on to step 2, and he's like totally on board, and the next step is to communicate better, and he's willing to try, and she is too. So I don't know, maybe Maxie and Nathan have indeed saved Lante. Like, I had a feeling that when they signed the papers, like, it was done, but maybe they haven't turned the papers in yet, because they said they're just still in the process of getting a divorce. So I know things usually take a lot longer than, like, signing papers, which, like, wasn't making sense to me, but, like, it seems like it's not a done deal yet. So, I'm excited. Are you excited? Do you want to see Lante get back together as a more healthy relationship, and I don't know. I'm just so happy. Today was a really good day on German Hospital. But thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you tomorrow for more German Hospital. I hope you have a great day. Bye.